Good morning, folks. Got sister sun-diving comets that swung in and vaporized on approach this morning. We do have a ton of interesting stories to bring you today. Events, science goofs, major discoveries. Let's begin at spaceweathernews.com, and we find the last day on our star doing about all it can given it's at the low point of the 11-year sunspot cycle. The southern coronal hole has become more visible and presents as a prominent open-field region swinging in to magnetically connect with Earth tonight or tomorrow. Meanwhile, geospace is quiet as solar winds spent another day calming down. The best telemetry to show it is in the middle, purple plasma speed, dropping from around 500 to 400 kilometers per second. The Villarrica volcano is causing concern in Chile after the white top peak began showing signs of dark spatter for days. Yesterday, fire was seen at the top of the mountain, and the region has now gone on alert for bigger events. Most intense moments in weather occurred as a super lightning bolt took out large-scale power systems in British Columbia, knocked it out to 124,000 people. And this was as a hailstorm was unleashing on Imperial, Nebraska, devastating cars and windows, but luckily, no injuries. We could see more tonight as the central low-pressure cell in the U.S. will deliver once more. Eyes open there for tornadoes, hail, high winds, and flash flooding. And the Philippines appears to have invented a typhoon repellent because that thing literally bounced off the coastline, now moving northwest more towards Taiwan and Japan. Eyes open there as well. Let's start with some fun. A group of self-proclaimed climate warriors probably knew that the Chinese, Australian, US, Canadian, and Russian teams have all gotten stuck in the Antarctic ice trying to prove it was melting cataclysmically the last few years. So this team got creative and they went north instead. Managed to get themselves into the same situation anyway. These climate warriors keep getting stuck in the ice, and that's just too funny. Up next, part good and part bad. They are expanding the Goldilocks zone to include regions for planets much smaller than the Earth, down to around 2% of Earth's size. That's the good part. But then they draw a harsh line thereafter, and given what we've seen at the moons of Jupiter and Saturn, I believe it's way premature to exclude life possibilities on the habitable moons of giant planet systems. Now, the other side of habitable planets, the super-Earths. This one is likely a little too big for humans at 8 times Earth's size, but alas, it isn't so different, especially because it now claims Hubble's first water vapor atmosphere. Planets like these are expected to be even more common than terrestrial planets like Earth, with a sweet spot around 2 to 3 times Earth's size. Up next, we're getting into some core science. Now, while plasma physics and black hole physics disagree as to the details, there is definitely something powerful and massive out there, and it keeps surprising us. They found a major plasma nucleus that appears to eat the equivalent of 12 moons a day, spread into 3 large meals. Otherwise, they are just beginning their analysis of this deep flashing. Now, I'll admit, there is only so much I can tolerate in one article title without laughing out loud. Maybe take a moment to familiarize oneself with the generic objects of dark energy, the Geodes as they call them. These are nothing more than another dark matter phantom, a fun idea that they've concocted but have never seen or have any real tangible reason to believe exists. They're literally just making up jobs for imaginary stuff in space now. Our top stories both take us to the center of the galaxy. Folks, this first one is the best radio image ever of the central plane and north-south cross-section. The bar going left to right in the middle is the galactic plane. The newly resolved feature of note goes north and south like a towering upside-down guitar, giant lobes going up and down from the center. That's their discovery, while I find myself unable to pull away from what appears to be a foreground return and what now appears in this radio image to be a rope leading it back to the center. Big discovery going north and south for the mainstream. Exciting topic for a deeper look episode coming up soon on the website. And last but not least, folks, it was August 7th that we reported the infrared outbursting of the galactic center. It was less than 3 weeks later in late August when we shared their doubling down on the science and extended their time of quiet beforehand, making the outburst they did see even more significant. And folks, here is the mainstream announcement weeks later. Now, true enough, a ton of sites did pick up the pre-release from Cornell's archive, but all in all, it is only now officially released science news that we had infrared outbursting at the galactic center. And yes, we are still waiting on any UV or X-ray signatures, which would signal a superwave. Nothing yet. We greatly appreciate your support, whether you are looking to catch up on community basics or diving deeper with the members' content. SuspiciousObservers.org. Got a bunch of new Deeper Look episodes, by the way. We've got your wind map forecasts and shots of our star to close, and we'll do this all again tomorrow, right here. But right now, it's 4:20 a.m. in the new Valley of the Sun. Eyes open, no fear. Be safe, everyone.